Welcome to the Diamond Mine Podcast with Nate and Laney, where we listen to all 92 Diamond albums certified by Billboard. Today's album is
Whitney Houston by Whitney Houston.
But before anything else, here's our news segment.
And welcome back to your music news. It has been a hot minute, about 3 weeks actually, so there's a lot to catch up on. A lot I'm going to skip over because it's already happened. So you have to bear with me as I go through this and as Nate plays Candy Crush.
I'm not playing Candy Crush.
Then what am I looking at?
This isn't Candy Crush. It's Candy Crush Saga.
You get on my nerves. Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker, I almost said Travis Scott, Travis Barker are married. Kurt Cobain's final days leading up to his death are being turned into a Nirvana opera.
That's cool.
Avril Lavigne and Maud's son are engaged. I didn't even know they were dating. Pink Floyd, who hasn't recorded a new song in nearly 30 years. But David Gilmour tells us that why he reunited the band to work with a Ukrainian singer who's now fighting against Russia. I'm sweating so much right now, dude.
Yeah, it's hot.
Oh my gosh, it is so hot. Okay. So I know... never mind, I'll get to that later. Metallica fans are to launch a Cliff Burton Museum in Sweden. Paul McCartney's family is opening up his childhood home to serve undiscovered artists so they can basically rent out sessions to go in there and write songs like him and John Lennon did.
That's awesome.
For like certain hours. Or
That's actually so cool.
Getting back to Pink Floyd on the Ukrainian thing, they have released their first song in 28 years. Will Smith, after the famous slap, has been banned from the Oscars for 10 years.
There you
go. Izzy Stradlin of Guns N' Roses turned 60. It was reported that Dead & Company will stop touring after 2022, and then Bob Weir decided that, hey, that's news to me. So apparently false news has been reported by the Rolling Stone and several other outlets. Kid Rock kicked off his 2022 tour in the most Kid Rock way possible with a video introduction delivered by Donald Trump.
Oh, Kid Rock.
Chris Bailey of the Saints passed away on April 10th. Red Hot Chili Peppers have the #1 album in the country with Unlimited Love 16 years after their first and only other album, Stadium Arcadium, in 2006.
That's crazy.
Right. Jack White has accused the Rolling Stones of copying the Beatles, which is funny after the whole Paul McCartney, Mick Jagger comments, we'll say. Kevin Parker of Tame Impala performed Elephant with the Wiggles. If you haven't seen that video, go look it up. Britney Spears is pregnant.
Really?
Yeah.
How did I not hear about this?
I don't know. But she is. She's pregnant.
With who? Like whose?
Her current boyfriend, fiance? I don't know if
Are they famous?
He probably is. I don't know. I'm not in that realm.
Word.
The guitar Kurt Cobain played in Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit is hitting the auction block for the first time ever. It is a left-handed 1969 Fender Mustang. In competition, Lake Placid Blue. It's a Fender Mustang, but it has the pickups of one of the other models. I can't remember. But anyway, it is expected to sell, if it hasn't already, I don't know, for between $600,000 and $800,000, though it could easily hit the $1 million mark. And he currently holds the record for most expensive guitars ever sold at auction, when the guitar he played during Nirvana's MTV Unplugged sold for more than $6 million.
Was it the guitar played on Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Yeah. Okay. Julian Lennon sings John Lennon's Imagine for the first time for Ukraine, even though he has been hesitant all these years. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it. The Interrupters announced a new album in the wild, and they share their first single off of it called In the Mirror. Jay-Z, Diddy, and Fat Joe helped DJ Khaled unveil his Walk of Fame star. If you have not seen those pictures of that video or anything, Please go look that up too. Oh, yes. I don't know if they have been found, but Alan White's plastic Ono band drum set, played on the albums Imagine with John Lennon and All Things Must Pass with George Harrison were stolen.
Oh, that sucks.
Blink-182's What's My Age Again turned 23.
Nobody likes you when you're 23.
Exactly, iconic lyric. Nobody likes you when you're 23. It's a special birthday to that. Al Green turned 76. Dance Gavin Dance. I'm sorry. The bassist of Dance Gavin Dance, Tim Feerick, passed away. Beatles fans have turned George Harrison's childhood home into an Airbnb and living museum.
Oh.
Taylor Hawkins' first posthumous, I cannot pronounce words.
I think it's just posthumous.
Yeah, posthumous, whatever. Release is a song with Edgar Winter. Ian MacKaye turned 60 years old, and he was in Fugazi, Minor Threat, one of the founding members of those bands, if you aren't familiar. Coachella happened. The Weeknd and Swedish Mafia House replaced Kanye West. And Shania Twain, our girl Shania, performed with Harry Styles, and so did Lizzo. Mac Miller's drug dealer has been sentenced to 11 years in prison after pleading guilty to supplying Mac with fentanyl-laced pills. Wu-Tang Clan and Nas joined forces for NY State of Mind tour. A new documentary about the life and career of George Michael is hitting theaters in June.
I'm about to sneeze. I was just warning the viewers.
Achoo. A new Grammy Museum exhibit will focus on women in country music and feature multiple generations of performers, including Dolly Parton, Taylor Swift, and Shania Twain.
Let's go.
George Harrison's widow, Olivia, announces a book of poems about his life. Journey unveils a new single titled You Got the Best of Me from a forthcoming album. Did not know they were still together. Oh, Soundgarden's Super Known has been certified 6 times platinum by RIAA. Delaware. We finally got you, Delaware. Moving onwards and upwards, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of Beatles news in this. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney started his Got Back tour, and he duets with John Lennon on stage.
That's
I sent
cool.
you that, actually, I think. Naomi Judd's daughters induct the late country star into the Hall of Fame. She passed away recently, Winona. And Ashley basically broke down in tears during the ceremony at the Country Music Hall of Fame on Sunday. Rest in peace, Naomi. We're almost done, I promise. Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, they're freaks, dog. They drink each other's blood.
They're strange. They're a strange group of people.
A$AP Rocky has released a new music video where he asks Rihanna to marry him with a grill, and then she has a little piece that says I do, so now they are engaged.
That's so baller.
And last but certainly not least, we have gotten into the 2022 inductees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that includes Pat Benatar, Duran Duran, Eminem, Eurythmics, Dolly Parton, Lionel Richie, Carly Simon, Harry Belafonte, Elizabeth Cotton, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Judas Priest, Alan Grubman, Jimmy Iovine, so sorry, and Sylvia Robinson, even though Dolly Parton said she didn't want to be inducted.
Yeah.
But whatever, and that's it for your music news.
And we're back. So before we get into anything else, Social medias, the Twitter, TDM Pod, TDM POD, the Instagram, the Diamond Mine Podcast, the YouTube for our face and stuff, the Diamond Mine. If you look up the Diamond Mine Podcast, we will be the first thing that pops up. TikTok, Diamond Mine Podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, 5 stars.
Share it with your friends.
Share it.
Delaware.
Yeah, we still need more of you guys.
Delaware.
Anyways, give us the specs on Whitney Houston's self-titled album.
All right. So, this has gone 13 times platinum. It was released February 14th, 1985. Happy Valentine's Day. This album is 47 minutes long, and it has 10 songs on it. And fun fact, my mom had this as a cassette tape. So, Apple has stated, Apple stated that this is her debut album that stayed at number 1 on Billboard 200 for 14 non-consecutive weeks in 1986, and this album led to her winning a Grammy, an Emmy, and 7 American Music Awards, which we will get into later on. First song.
This first song is called You Give Good Love. This feels like something Kanye would sample, and the fact that he hasn't yet, to my knowledge, is very surprising and also disappointing. Whitney really just has such a big, powerful voice, and that's what she's known for, and she really shows it off on this debut album. Really is a shame she had to go so early. Whitney Houston's genre, though, if you're a previous viewer of the podcast, you know this, not really my kind of thing, but I can still appreciate what's being given to me. I like the beat, feels nice, just a little too slow pacing for me, but that's just in the genre as a whole.
Yeah, going off what you were saying, we were dreading listening to this album and also having to record this album, and I'll be honest, when we listened, I didn't write a lot down. I just have basically what Genius says. But going back to what you said about her vocals, I mean, she's probably one of the greatest singers of all time, regardless of her genre. I mean, whatever. And it's like kind of how I viewed Celine Dion at first. Like, I did not understand how anybody went to her concerts, like how they just loved listening to Celine Dion.
Yeah.
After listening to her, like, 2 albums or whatever that we've listened to, 3, if you want to count Titanic, I guess. I get it. I do understand it now. Would I still go? I don't know. We'll see. But
if it was really cheap and in town, I would go.
Yeah. If she played in, like, local, yeah, for sure. But this song peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 4 on Billboard's Adult Contemporary chart, and topped Billboard's Hot Black Singles chart for a week. This song won an American Music Award for Favorite Soul/R&B Single and was nominated for 2 Grammys. This basically brings up the story of her and her daughter. No. Ignore what I just said. I'm going to bring up the story of her and her daughter's death. When Nate said she died early, her daughter also died, like, in her 20s. The same exact way.
So
Trigger
crazy.
warning for, like, death, drugs, drug abuse, overdose, all of that right now. So Whitney Houston, if you don't know, she was addicted to crack and, like, other things as well, I'm pretty sure, like pills and things like that. So she basically overdosed or had it in her system and then drowned in a bathtub, and that's how they found her. Her daughter, they also found drugs in her system. She drowned in a bathtub, and that's how they found her.
The odds of that
Isn't that not weird?
are so slim.
Unless the daughter did it, like, on purpose. That is the weirdest. Like,
usually, though, when people do an autopsy on somebody that's died of an overdose, you can tell if the amount they took was, like,
lethal
in the sense of, like, oh, they were definitely trying to kill themselves.
Yeah. Well, with her, I think they found marijuana and something else, like, and pills or something, and that's what it was. Whitney, I don't remember, but yeah. Anyway, let's go to the next song.
Okay, this next song is called Thinking About You. Has a little electronic steel drum, very funky, quicker pace. This is very 80s, though. Very 80s, and that's how a lot of these songs are on this album. Which, I mean, it's Whitney Houston. I didn't know what I was really expecting. And I think that sound is kind of bland. But, again, her voice carries. I like the what would be the word for that? Like the sound arrangement, like the specific sound effects they used for the instruments.
Yeah.
Like the soundboard, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like that about this song. It was just so 80s that...
I agree with that. So, this song became a top 10 hit on the Hot R&B/hip hop songs in the United States. I wish her vocals were more prominent in the mix. And, I mean, I know it's her first album, so she's just pushed out there with herself in this because she was on... How was she debuted? Was it on Jermaine Jackson's albums? She was on somebody else's album, or maybe Teddy Pendergrass or someone. And then she came out with her own stuff and really pushed her name out there. But she could have eaten it up if her vocals were more prominent and she really just was the Whitney Houston later on. She could have just destroyed the song. And I know what you mean by the 80s, a little bit of bland, because to me it sounded kind of gloomy, almost goth rockish, while still keeping it in the whole soul R&B hip hop category. So yeah, next song.
This next song is called Someone For Me. I like the bass, slapping AF. They have these big orchestral hit things, but it's MIDI, but Yeah. It matches the vibe, but it's a nice chord. I like chords. I like music theory, and that tickled that part of my brain. This song feels like a Fortnite emote to me, though. Aww. I could see Jonesy or Peely getting down to this. This song's alright, though, and in comparison to how I feel about the rest of the album, this one's one of the higher points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all I wrote down was that I like this album better than the Bodyguard soundtrack so far.
I agree.
But this album was just not hitting super hard at this point, and I was not feeling it that night. So, next song.
This next song is called Saving All My Love For You. I've actually heard this one. I didn't think I was going to hear anything on this album that I had heard before. Only the chorus, though, and I think it's from TikTok. So, does that really count? I don't know.
We'll count it.
Again, it's a little bit boring to me. I like the sax in the back, though. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, so this was originally a minor hit for Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. in 1978. Whitney's really good at covering songs, if you haven't figured that out by now. If you don't, I Will Always Love You is a Dolly Parton song that she covered and sent that to the top.
I always got to make sure that people know that whenever they bring up that song. I always make sure people know that.
Yeah, same. And then there are several covers on this album that shot to the top of the charts as well, so she brings the power. But her version topped the Billboard Hot 100, and it was actually her first number one. And the song has sold over 3 million copies. And like Nate, I had heard the song before. Next.
This next song is called Nobody Loves Me Like You Do? I think I misspelled it.
Yeah.
Nobody Loves Me Like You Do. This song sounds like a funeral song. I'm sorry. I was not having a grand old time. This was quite boring. And this is featuring the less talented Jackson. So I just, I was longing for Michael. And that's how I feel about this song.
Okay, the the less talented Jackson brother that it's referring to is Jermaine Jackson, who was the bass player in the Jackson 5, and he also had his own solo career. And it's actually, I think, believed that he dated Whitney Houston at one point, so power couple. But this song was originally by Anne Murray with Dave Loggins, another cover. I enjoyed the song, but it's just not, for me, it didn't really hit that sweet spot that I feel like she could normally reach. We'll move on,
though. This next song is called How Will I Know?
That's silence.
Sorry, I was reading my notes. The bass in the song is grimy, but in a good way. When I say grimy, it kind of sounds bad, but it's not, I promise. This style of music, though, is misery for me. I'll give it that it's a little catchy with the how will I know? But it's annoying. And she just says that line over and over and
Yeah.
over, and songs that just drive a little slogan into your head like that kill me. In general, whack.
Okay. Going back to the Jacksons, this song was originally written for Janet Jackson, but her management declined it, saying it was too weak. Funny, because Whitney's more of a powerhouse than she is, from my knowledge. But Whitney's mother was actually supposed to provide backup vocals, but then Whitney ended up doing it herself after Clive Davis convinced her to.
Whitney's mother sings? Interesting.
I guess. This song topped Billboard Hot 100, Hot Black Singles, Adult Contemporary chart, and it also topped the charts in Canada. The music video for the song won an MTV Video Music Award for Best Female Video, and I had heard this one before, and it was very synthy, another just 80s sounding song.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
This next song is called All at Once. Her voice is incredible. It's really shown off on this song. She jumps up octaves, and that in general is just crazy because there's so much space in between the notes that you're singing or playing that there's a ton of space for you to mess up. It's just another one of those traditional Whitney ballads, though. Her voice is exceptional in this one, though, so this is one of the better ones, and it kept me interested.
And that kind of like capitalizes on what I was saying earlier about how she's one of the greatest singers of all time. Like, she's another Celine Dion, but she's like the Whitney Houston, you know? And it kind of reminds me of a Disney princess song. I don't know exactly what princess. Probably more like Mulan or something like that. Not the Under the Sea kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, that's what it just made me feel like that, yeah, whatever. I don't know. Listen to it. Let us know down below. But the song was released as a single in Japan, where it was certified gold. I said the strings sound like every other slow 80s songs, but her vocals were just very peaceful and pure.
Is that the Fortnite default dance? And we're back. So this next song is called Take Good Care of My Heart. This song is hella Jermaine. Again, I think he's the less talented Jackson. I'm sorry.
I like my vibe with him.
I just wasn't digging it, man. I like the incorporation of saxophone on this song and in this album in general, because I think the saxophone is just a dope instrument, and I can really appreciate that, Whitney. Shout out to you.
It could look up if Jermaine Jackson played the saxophone. He played something else other than the
Okay,
bass.
if he plays the saxophone, then
You got to put him up. He's got to be the
yeah.
number 2 over Janet.
Fair. I don't know, Tito.
All right. The Jacksons, they're hard competition. While Nate is looking that up, wait.
Jermaine is a multi-instrumentalist whose main discipline is the saxophone.
Told you. He's a singer and a saxophone player and a bass player. And whatever else it includes in his...
Okay, the sax... Yeah.
Yeah, that puts him up a notch.
I dig that.
All right, yeah. But the song was actually first released on Jermaine's album, Dynamite, in 1984. And it was the... Okay, wait. I actually have it written down. This was the first time the world heard of Whitney Houston. So it was on Jermaine Jackson's album.
Huh.
So it was almost like
That's
he discovered her.
That's why it was hella Jermaine.
Yeah. And, like, that's basically... It was almost like he discovered her, in a sense. Isn't that... That's just
that
crazy
is weird.
to me. That's all I have for this song, though. Just random.
This next song is called Greatest Love of All. I've heard this one. I don't know where, though. I recognize the chorus for whatever reason, though. They have big string hits on the chorus at about minute 4. I like that. This song drags a bit, but she really brings the emotion. The backing track helps that, and just the emotion and power in her voice helps that. So this one's pretty aight.
I just realized a few things. Number 1, you have that yellow stuff all over your
Yeah, I
hair.
know.
Number 2, your frog isn't even black anymore.
Yeah, I know. It was never black. It was
I thought
silver.
it was.
No.
Or was that like gunpowder color, wasn't it?
The, like, outline of the eyes was, and it's still kind of darker
So
around
you're
that. It's always been this color. Like,
I thought it was more like gunmetal color.
no.
Like between these two is what color I thought it was.
No.
Anyway, Greatest Love of All. This was written by Michael Messer and Linda Creed. And Linda Creed was struggling with breast cancer. The song was originally released in 1977 by George Benson for the Muhammad Ali biopic, The Greatest. Whitney's version, of course, topped Billboard Hot 100, Hot Black Singles, and Adult Contemporary. It also topped the charts in Australia and Canada. It was certified gold in the US and Canada, and it was certified silver in the UK. The song won an American Music Award for Favorite Soul and R&B Video, and was nominated for a Grammy and Soul Train Music Award. Yeah. Last song.
This next song is called Hold Me. This song is 1000% too long. I'm not a huge fan of male-female duets in songs. It doesn't tickle my fancy. This sounds like a 1980s Christmas movie finale, though, where like the whole family ends up getting along and the snow falls the one little snowflake lands outside on like the windowsill, and the boy looks out the window and he sees Santa like fly across, and he's like,
And then it pans.
Mom! And then that's how the movie ends. And I hate it. I hate that.
I hate that good feeling.
I don't want to feel wholesome right now, okay? I was glad that the album was done, though, because
This is a painful night. I don't know
the
what
songs
it was.
drug like very, very hard. I didn't comment on that too much,
Right.
but the songs really did just drag on.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell by the length of this episode, we really didn't have a lot to say. Yeah, it just wasn't it. Also, the male-female duets, I kind of agree with you. Unless their voices perfectly, like, melt into each other, it's just, honestly, not a preference. I like more like if it were two females or two males or something where they're, like, it just meshes together better. However, I will say Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers' Islands in the Stream. Anyway, that's an exception. And their Christmas album. Moving on. Hold Me. This song was originally released on Teddy Pendergrass's album as a duet with Whitney, as we've kind of already talked about, obviously. And the song is simply about comforting your loved one, so very fitting about the whole Christmas movie thing that you were talking about. And funny enough that we're talking about this duet, people believe that this is one of the best duets to have ever existed.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Odd. Very odd.
Yeah. And that's it.
Anyways, 1 through 92, Lainey.
I can't remember. What is this? Is an episode 53?
Yes.
We're in the 40s for sure right now.
Yeah.
This is actually, I think this is episode 40, or like on the list for Billboard. It's number 40 is what I meant.
Oh.
So we're at the cusp or whatever. I'm moving it down.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know how much though, because we've listened to some hot trash, and we've also listened to some stuff that needs to be like way up there.
This isn't hot trash though, but it's not like.
Where did we put Celine? Do you remember? Because I don't.
I have no clue. We're gonna have to go through all our old episodes whenever we want to make a big list. Make a Google spreadsheet.
Oh my gosh. Or we can just try to talk about it, and if we don't remember, go back to the video at the very end. But anyway, I would say, because one Celine Dion album I think was better than the other, so I'm just going to say it would fall between those. So I'm going to say...
It's just somewhere in between there.
I'm just going to say probably 60s, 70s.
Yeah, like, I think I already put something at 69 for comedic value.
I think you did.
But I'll do 68 because it's just 69, but they owe you one. So
time to go.
Anyways, you have anything you'd like to say before we start wrapping this thing up?
No.
The social medias.
Oh, tell them to bring me my money. Okay.
The Twitter, TDM Pod, TDM POD. The Instagram, the Diamond Mine Podcast. The YouTube, for a face, the Diamond Mine. TikTok, Diamond Mine Podcast. All sorts of stuff like that. I don't know what our next album is.
Rate us, share us, like us, comment down below, please and thank you. If we have polls on Spotify, vote on those because those are fun sometimes, you know. Delaware, welcome to the team. I know we kind of bullied you into it, but I hope you stay.
Sorry we were so mean to you, Delaware.
We just really wanted you on our team, you know?
Yes.
I don't know what state we need to look up next, so I'll have to go through our list of countries and states that we can bully. But I'll get back to you, don't worry.
Anyways, this has been the Diamond Mine Podcast with Nate. Wow. This has been the Diamond Mine Podcast with Nate and Lenny. It's hysteria. Def Leppard hysteria.